Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, in this video, I want to go over some of the modifications that I've done to this machine. And the reason for that is I have actually been seeing several people on a couple of different Gleaner Combine Facebook groups I'm on, asking about that kind of thing. And so I figured, well, I'll go ahead and show what I've done to ours. And just kind of show you all the different things I've done to it. That's made a night and day difference. So come along with me. All right, the first thing that I have done, well, I'm going to show you, is I put the Dan Hurt feeder floor kit in. And right here, let it focus good for you, I put that into the throat of this thing. I also put it into the R72 as well, and it made a world of difference. Let's start up here in the front end where the throat is. First off, what it does is it lowers this back part of the throat floor down and opens it up. And you cut forward up so far on each side, and the instructions are actually pretty well detailed. You got a lot of pictures and that kind of stuff, so that really helps as well. You can also put in, there's a different back piece here of floor that you can get from Agco that is actually thicker, and I would highly recommend doing that. It's a 1/4 inch. I think just regular standard factory might be 1/8 inch. I'm over here on the other side now. But yeah, you can see where we cut the floor right down through there and pushed it all down. And so that's basically what you do to the throat. Up here on the front, of course you have this false floor right here in the middle. There are, no, you can't really see them, but there are, with the kit, you also get 2 big steel sheets that seal up the underside of that false floor, and so it makes it all smooth underneath there. And that's basically what you do on the throat side. And so now I'm going to jump up underneath and show you what it looks like up underneath. Okay, I'm looking through these instructions right here, and right there are those 2 pans, and you can see how they go up in that false floor right there in the throat, and it just plugs up that big open channel. I was looking to see, because it also shows a posi drum that you can install. Okay, well, I was trying to find a picture I can't find a picture of the posi drum. Right there's where it talks about it, and available from Lowen. I got mine through Manchester Farm Center out of North Manchester, Indiana. And I think he might have actually gotten mine from maybe A&I. I'm not positive though. Right there it shows you cutting the floor of the back of the throat. Like I say, he's got good pictures in here. And so I'm going to jump up underneath and show you what it looks like up underneath over top the hydro. Before I jump up underneath here and show you part of the update above the hydro, if it works out, I will try to take and link. I have videos that I've done showing how to rebuild all this. I had to put all new bearings in this big clutch housing, so I took everything all out. So all 3 inside bearings and everything, I tried to video as much as possible. I will try my best to take and post those videos of this, and also on the other side, I'll be showing that as well, of how to do that. I'll try my best to take and post all those part videos. I think this one here, I had a 4-part video, and the other side might have been a 3-part if I remember correctly. And I'll try to take and link all those in the video description down below. But just in case anybody might be able to help somebody out. Okay, let's get up underneath here and take a look. All right, we're underneath the thing. Right here is the hydro. And right here is the new floor. That's 1/4 inch. You can see where we cut out I actually had a guy from my Gleaner dealer come over and help me do this because this was the first one I had ever done. And after seeing it done, I went and put a kit into the R72. But the original floor has a hump right here that humps up, and it creates a big choke point. And so as you can see, this floor here just comes straight back and then angles up. And of course, let me see if I can get my light turned around. There we go. Of course, it goes right up, and up there is your rock door, your trap door, going into the bottom of the rotor. But like I say, that made a world of difference. But putting this in, it opened it all up inside there. And like I say, I would take and drop, I'll see if I can find a picture of that. It's got that access door right there. You can take this handle right here and at least drop this access door down. Problem is though, last thing I did was rye with this machine, and so it's going to be all full of rye dust, and you know what's going to happen. As soon as I go and drop that door down, it's going to dump on top of my head. Now, some of you may sit back and laugh at that, and but frankly, I don't feel like getting a bunch of rye dust all dumped on top of me. But what I did though is the front drum of the upper feeder house, I put a originally it was an 8-inch drum on that. I dropped it to a 7-inch. By putting the new floor in, it lowered this part of the floor down as well. And so I'm guessing approximately I gained anywhere from 2.5 to 3 inches additional with the new floor, with the big hump all removed, and the next size smaller drum. And like I say, it made a world of difference, and you're not having a choke point and constantly plugging here. And so I'm trying to remember, it might have been on the late model R75, and or it might have been actually when Gleaner went to the R76. They stopped making it with that hump right there. And so like I say, that made a world of difference, along with that 7-inch posi drum. And so tell you what, when we get back out from underneath here, I'm going to look and see if I can find a picture of that drum and show it to you before I get back up into the rotor and show you some of the updates that I have done back there. Okay, I'm back here looking in the instructions again, trying to find a picture of the posi drum. Right here's a good illustration that he has. You can see that the top floor, or that's actually the old floor right here. And you can see how the old floor had that hump right there. That bottom part, that's the new floor, and you can see the comparison. It's flat, going straight in, then up. So you don't have that big choke point in that floor. Now I'm going to see if I can find that posi drum. Okay, I finally found it. You can see how the inner part of the drum is kind of triangular shaped, so it's smaller, which opens up for additional clearance as well. And of course, it drops to a 7-inch. Which, like I say, that is what I put into the R72, no, the R72. Now the R52, I did not put one of these in because we're only running a 20-foot grain head. All I did was simply just put the new floor in, and it made a night and day difference as well. But like I say, you can go through Lowen to get these, and or I got mine through Manchester Farm Center out of North Manchester, Indiana. And in fact, maybe I can also try and put at the end of this video, maybe I'll put the Manchester Farm Center's phone number if you'd like to call and talk to them. Okay, now we're back here in the rotor. Wish now I was actually sitting outside, but I've got my big light here. You can see I got all that rye junk up in there, but that's kind of normal. I'll knock that down before we get started on beans. But I'll just kind of start over here on the right hand side and kind of work my way over to the left. Get my light set right. Up here on top, I put all the steep pitch helical bars in. What that does is If you have just the regular standard factory ones, take that back. I'm not exact. I know all the S series Gleaner came out standard with steep pitched helicals. The R76 might have also. I'm not positive, but if you have especially the early model R75, and I'm guessing probably all the years that the R75 was built, and of course 72 and that kind of stuff. If you have the original factory helicals, what happens is approximately right here's your concave going across, and of course going down to the feeder house coming up. What happens is with the standard pitched helical bars, roughly half, the right hand half from over that side over to about the middle right here of crop mat, as it comes up and goes over the concave, as it goes around and begins to transition over to the left, the right hand half is actually going around, complete clear around, and coming up on this side again, and so it's getting hit twice. Well, for one thing, that robs a lot of horsepower, because you're packing that half around with fresh crop mat coming up, and so the steep pitched, it diverts everything with all one big sweep, comes up and then goes over into the separating side of the rotor cage. This combine does have the CDF rotor, which is a solid drum. Our R52 actually has the open 8-bar, and so either one does a good job. But the one nice thing with the CDF, I never have trouble with it getting out of balance, and for doing rye or wheat and that kind of stuff where you're running a lot higher RPM. And so, like I say, I put all the steep pitched helicals in. That made a giant difference. Down here on the bottom, on the concave, you got these two big eyelet bolts, one here, one over at that end. If you clean all that dirt out there, of course, like I say, it's full of rye dust and dirt right now. There's a little tab right there. In fact, let me see here if I can get the camera down there up to it. You can kind of see a little silver tab poked out right there on the bottom. I just cleaned the dirt off of it. That's got adjustment numbers on it. What I did is I opened up the bottom of the concave all the way to the maximum position. And that way you got plenty of room coming in. And that way, basically, as when you have the top part up here closed down for beans, wheat, rye, small grains, it's kind of like forming a wedge. It's coming in thicker. It's coming in thicker down here at the bottom, and slowly getting narrower at the top. And I like that. It's worked good for me. Over here, as we move on over here to this side of the rotor, if I can get my light set just right. On the rotor drum itself, it had 4 reverse bars. Some guys like running them, that's all well and good. However, I had somebody tell me that each reverse bar takes approximately 7 horsepower to pull. And this thing had 4 of them. And so I essentially had 30 horsepower tied up driving reverse bars. I took all the reverse bars out and put in the hardened trim bar out of Seymour, Indiana. And they've worked great. So I have all forward bars in, no reverse bars. I also put a Sunnybrook sweep kit in. And in fact, right there is one of the sweeps right there. You can see that angling piece through the holes. There are 3 of them in every other space between the rotor rasp bars. So you have a line right there going across. You have a blank spot right here, and then another line of them, well, on down around on the bottom side, and more up around on the back side or front side up there. And those really help. There's 3 of them going across. So you have one right there, you have one right there, and you have one right over there in the chopper discharge area. Also, if you have it, in the separator grate down here on the bottom, I took out every other wire right down there. And that really opened it up for capacity for separating the grain out and letting the grain fall through into the distribution augers, and all the trash and everything goes on out into the chopper here at the end. On this end right here, coming up from the separator grate, I took a piece of helical bar and bolted it from up here at the top, and it goes down here to the bottom, right where the separator grate stops, and this just a square hole part of the cage begins. And some people call that a corn dam, or it just basically helps to keep grain from wanting to jump around the corner. It makes everything just kind of come up, just help slow it down. That way you're not pushing grain around the corner of it. On the front side, up here on the front, going into the chopper discharge area, I added 2 additional pieces of helical bar into that area. It had 1, I put 2 more, and so now I've got a total of 3 going into that area, which helps take and push everything over, and it actually helps to feed the chopper more centered. Otherwise, it can actually just want to go right around the corner, and it would be the inside part of the chopper gets all the trash. Whereas with all with those additional pieces of helical, it goes around and goes back, well, across the floor down here at the bottom, coming up into the chopper area. It comes in, for the most part, fairly even and helps even it all up. But yeah, like I say, that's some of the things that I have done here on this rotor as far as updates and that kind of thing, and they've really worked good for me. Oh, I just happened to see it. I'll show you right quick. If you can see, I'm not sure how well you can see on camera, but you see right there under the rasp bar, you have that 1/2-inch piece between the big main part that is welded to the drum. Those are 1/2-inch spacer bars. And unlike what you can get from Agco, now some people will get 1/2-inch spacer bars, and they will put it over here on the threshing side of the rotor. I had a guy make me full-length 1/2-inch spacer bars. They go clear from one end, clear all the way across to the other. And what that does is it pushes the rasp bars back out to the normal 24 inches. And because if you have it without those, here on the concave, your closest point between the concave and rasp bar will be about right here in the middle, this break area, which means you're only using the lower half. But when you space that back out to the normal 24-inch diameter, you're using the full entire concave part. And like I say, you can get those bars through Agco. I can tell you right now, they are very expensive. It seemed like for those, it was going to be like $700 to get them. I had a guy make them for me, and I think it was like $65. He actually made me 7. I got 1 extra. And so that worked out pretty well. But yeah, that's all the things I've done on this rotor. I'll jump around over here on the right-hand side and can I give a quick walk down the right-hand side and let you see over there as well. Okay, here we are on the right-hand side. And of course, like I say, I'll try and link in the video description for all these videos. But here on the big hydraulic sheave, on the big main drive shaft coming through the machine, I did a video. I did my best to show how to rebuild it. Put the new big bearing in back there, the big carrier bearing. All new O-rings inside this hydraulic sheave part. And like I said, I just try to show as much detail as possible. And because I had a bearing going out on the left-hand side, but if you're going to do one side, do the other side also. And I had somebody else tell me that approximate a good hour range to estimate on those back bearings, that big back bearing, and also the same thing for the big main bearings on the left-hand side, is roughly 2,000 to 2,500 hours, approximately. And so, from what I could tell, I think they were original, but I'm not sure. I forget on this side over here. This side over here might have been replaced at one point in time. But on the left-hand side, the big main carrier bearing was original, and the two smaller outer bearings, I believe, had been replaced. Right there, you can see that weld line. That's part of the floor from inside, that Dan Hurt feeder floor kit. How you can see the weld line going up right there. So, like I say, I've seen where several guys have talked about mods and that kind of stuff, modifying and doing like different updates to their machines. And figure I'd try and do a video here, and I'll be posting this to links to this video on a couple Gleaner and Alice Chalmers Facebook groups that I'm on. And hopefully it'll help you out. Yeah, if you have any questions, just jump into the comment section and let me know, and I can try and get you as much information as possible. Like I say, I try and get a lot of my parts for my machines through Manchester Farm Center out of North Manchester, Indiana. And I know that they do ship stuff out. And so if you want to check them out, I'll try and see if I can add the 800 number to them in this at the end of this video here. And call and ask for Lewis. He'll get you fixed up. And so, yeah, that's just a little video I've done here on showing the different modifications that I've done to this machine. And, oh, I happen to see this here just right offhand. I showed you those, the rasp bars. That right there is where I got them. In fact, one of my YouTube subscribers, Dylan Joyce Farms out of Western Tennessee, I know on their combine, they actually just got a set of trimp bars. And so, the great thing, they're a tungsten rebuild bar. The great thing about them, as they slowly wear, they keep kind of like a sandpaper edge, which works great because they can grab stuff and pull it through. Your hardened chrome, they just get real slick over time, and it's hard for them to grab stuff and pull it through. But, yeah, like I say, I just want to do a video here showing the different updates and that kind of thing. Hopefully it'll help you out. So take care. Thanks a lot for watching. Have any questions? Feel free to ask.